O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. We pick things up on Monday in markets within about 12 points of highs on the S&Ps, and that's all-time highs. Quite the surge higher, continuing the run that we had on Friday, and we are up by, that's gold, but S&Ps continuing the run that we had on Friday. There we go. Up by 1.2%. We're trading right now 3 points away from the highs that we made at about 2 p.m. Eastern time, and you're up about 1.2% in S&Ps. NASDAQ 100, you're up by 1.4%. Tech stocks, Dow up by 1.2% as well. The Dow right now, you talk about a run, man. Yeah, not 1,000 points. We're from 45,600 and we're nearing 47,000, folks. You're talking about almost 1,400 points in the Dow just from where we were on Friday. And the Russell up by almost 2% as well, up 47 points to 2512. Bitcoin participating up by almost $4,500, up 4.2%, 111,180. Ethereum up by 3.8%. Crypto struggling last week. You take a look at the daily, quite a cascade from 127,000 2 weeks ago. That was a straight run. Down to the lows of Friday, 103,000. We're bouncing a bit. We'll see if we do it on some volume. That was a lot of selling coming into the lows of last week. The biggest day in Bitcoin last week in the futures as it traded to the lows of 103,000. Ethereum, not as pronounced, but a lot of selling in that acceleration from about last week ago, Friday, the 10th that is, 10 days ago, to the low that we had on Friday as well. Crude continues to be under pressure. So check out the acceleration in crude. Now approaching the bottom of what could be a little channel line. Crude, I mean, that's a green bar, but that's only a green bar because you gapped open on Friday. Still lower prices. You trade lower with volume on Friday. You catch a little bit of a bid, but crude under pressure, nearing a little bit of support near 56, and that's where we hit today. 55.96 early at about 9 a.m. this morning, crude. All right, we jump over to notes and bonds. So we are 9 days out from a Federal Reserve meeting. And we get the 10-year, sure enough, 3.98. Now, this is what happened last time. As in rates under pressure, you traded higher from August 21st for price this is, into September 17th. So from August 21st until about September 5th, 12 days ahead of the Fed meeting, you peak out and then you get a little bit of a relief pullback. And now what's happening is we're now 9 days out from that meeting, and rates are now with the 10-year under 4%. Critical area 3.98. Rates under pressure. Jump over to the DXY. Quite the acceleration up to 98,950 this morning. Excuse me, this past week. And yeah, we're up by 14 pennies right now at 98.57, just chopping around where we were on Friday. And boy, gold. For you gold bulls out there. You know, when we were talking about, and we were talking about it last week, okay, we had questions about dust, right? And I was saying, no, I wouldn't be shorting this just yet. You know, Friday's reversal was quite a reversal, folks. Okay, but look at this. You're going to engulf it all. Now, you're not going to do it with volume likely, as in that was some big volume on Friday. But the reason why you don't want to short this market just yet, folks, is because of the weekly charts like that, man. Look at that chart. Up to 43.92 and quite a ramp up in volume, right? It just doesn't stop. Ramping it up. 1.9 million contracts last week. So to do 1.9 million contracts, and for some reference here, okay, on Friday, we traded 559,000 contracts. 559,000 contracts, okay? There's a lot of weeks, folks, where you don't even do 559,000 contracts. We had some of them. Let's zoom in a little bit. Wow, we did 674 the week is August 18th, 742. That's for an entire week. We just did almost 600,000 on Friday alone. Now, to get 1.9 million contracts, okay, Yeah, you're going to need almost 400,000 contracts a day on average, and we've done 300,000 today. So it's going to have to be a big number, but that's a big number, 300,000 contracts. We're trading up $170, not matching Friday's volume. But yeah, there's way too much strength going on in gold right now. It doesn't mean you won't get some extreme volatility and pullbacks, but way too much strength to be in there shorting. Now, silver's looking weaker than gold. Okay, on a daily basis, you got these large sells out there from October 9th, October 14th, and then Friday's sell-off as well. And on a weekly basis, still looking strong though. Okay, but on that daily, a little bit more pronounced on the selling, but look at that, right? Look at that silver, man. Silver still. That's not the look of a chart that you short, folks. On a weekly basis, you just see higher price with increasing volume, right? More people in the store and they're paying more prices. Well, that's what should happen when more people are coming in the store for the same product. They're going to have to pay more money. And yeah, those metal charts, they look perfect. They really do. Besides on Friday. They were perfect until Friday, so watch Friday on a much shorter term basis. We look over at platinum. So platinum gave up almost all of last week's gains. You made it up to 1770. We closed out the week at about 1629. We're a little bit higher this week. Platinum's been on quite a run. Not as pronounced on the selling as gold and maybe silver, but still a big volume bar. To the downside, you get this bar from September 23rd out there, brings you back to about $1,500 if that's where platinum could potentially pull back to. Okay, so Apple. The iPhone 17. I've been talking about it myself. I got a 12 Pro Max, folks. I'm holding it down to 12 Pro Max. But a new one's coming, and I might get there on the 17. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to want to wait a whole another cycle, but really I don't have to. It's close. The battery's suffering, the speed occasionally, but one of the things they're talking about is people in a similar spot to myself. Now, you have two different ends of the spectrum, okay? But new iPhone outsells previous models by 14% in the U.S. and China, okay? iPhone 17 outsold the iPhone 16 by 14%. The standard iPhone 17 is in much higher demand, okay? In China, sales are almost double those of the base iPhone 16. So in China, we'll finish this up. The 17 Pro Max also selling well. All-time highs for Apple today, up by 4.5%. Markets in the green. We'll be right back with our man Steve Rhodes. Don't go away, folks.